I definitely got a lot of energy today. Not energy, weird energy today. I really want to film the video right here because why not? Like if I film the video this far from you guys, will you still watch it? Like, you know, that's the benefits of having a wireless microphone. But probably should come closer to do a proper introduction. Today's video, I just feel like being myself, like always. But hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are great. And thank you for tuning in for this video. But what's up, CK fam? This is your boy CliffordAKyei here, back with another video for this week. I hope your week was amazing. Let me know how your week was in the comment section. If it was good, let me know. If it was bad, let me know. If it was like in the middle, you was just on neutral, let me know as well. But I pray that you have a better week no matter what happened last week. But today's video is really a rant. It's a video of me just talking. One of the things you guys will discover about me, to be honest, is that I always have something to say. I think people around me probably know that by now. I talk too much, and that's probably why being a YouTuber is great. But as you can see by the title of the video today, I want to talk about the fact that prayer does not solve everything. I like to pray. I love praying. But if we are only taught that prayer is the answer of everything, that is a weak foundation of the Christian journey. And some of y'all might like it, some of y'all might not like this video, or my prayer throughout this video is that your mind is transformed, that you are challenged to grow. I believe that there's a standard that we set for ourselves as believers that does not allow us to grow. Having standards or having goals or having whatever it is for yourself is good for growth. But when it comes to a point where it's limited you from growing in the faith from a child to an adult in the faith, that's when it becomes a problem. Prayer in itself is not bad. As a matter of fact, there are some things you can never get done unless you pray. Prayer answers things. Prayer is actually work, but prayer also work. I've seen prayer move things. I've seen prayer heal many. I've seen people pray and many things come into manifestation for them. Prayer for the believer is the lifeline. Prayer is like the oxygen that the believer breathes in. Without prayer, it is impossible to be able to live as a believer. You may exist, but you can never live without prayer. That's how important prayer is. A believer without a prayer life is going nowhere to happen. And as a matter of fact, when you live a prayerless life as a Christian, you are in a way digging your own hole for burial. When you don't pray, you're saying, I'm ready to die. You're saying that, man, God put me out or the enemy put me out. And so whenever the believer prays, prayer does not only protect them, but prayer also connects you to God. That is the importance of prayer, that I can tell how connected you are to God based on your prayer life. And many times we can overlook how much we can grow in God through our connection with Him through prayer. And so many times people will hear me say, or even I put it on social media, on Twitter, that the day you begin to disconnect from your source is the day you begin to die. In other words, the day you begin to disconnect from God is the day you begin to die. That's how powerful prayer is. Prayer is simply a communication between you and God, a respectful communication. I made a video on that. And this video is not for me to get into necessarily prayer. I think that there's this stigma around our generation, especially in the faith, that if I'm going through something, all I have to do is pray. May I suggest to you that prayer answers all things, but prayer does not always only answers all things. And I know it might be confusing. Prayer answers all things, but prayer alone does not always answer all things. So I look into the Bible and I remember the other day, the disciples got ready to cast out a demon from somebody. And when they began to pray for the person and they tried to cast out the demon, they were praying nonstop. And the Bible said that as they prayed, nothing happened. And then Jesus Christ walked up onto the scene and He didn't pray. He enforced the word of God. And quickly, the man was healed. The man was delivered. And when the disciples asked Jesus, why couldn't we cast out that demon? He told them some things can only come out through prayer, which you guys did, and fasting, which you guys didn't do. And so sometimes you have to learn to have the wisdom to not only pray, but to combine prayer with fasting. There's specific situations that can never ever be moved, that can never be touched, that can never be overcome if all you do is pray. It is very important for you not to just have a prayer life, but for you to have a lifestyle of fasting. A Christian that does not know how to fast and a Christian that does not fast at all cannot be trusted. Because the truth of the matter is, the reason why I say that is because prayer alone is great, but prayer with fasting can do great things. And so that is one area what we can look at, that prayer is not enough. Sometimes you need to add fasting to prayer. But you know, my burden for today's video is not just about prayer and fasting, because the truth of the matter is if you're fasting, you have to pray. Well, some people can fast without prayer, and that's not necessarily fasting, that's starvation. If you say I'm fasting but you don't pray, you didn't fast, you starved yourself. What makes your fasting official, what makes it powerful, what makes it more impactful is the fact that you added prayer to it. So if you're fasting, whatever you're fasting from, whether it is food, whether it's social media, whatever it is, make sure that you're withdrawing. Fasting simply means that you're withdrawing from something to seek God. And the way you seek God is by praying. Now, the reason why I say that prayer does not solve everything is because the idea that God, all I have to do for God to come through for me and to manifest the prophecy and the promise in which He promised me is only by prayer is very unrealistic. God loves you, but praying alone is not enough. Sometimes God will give you a promise and not only watch you pray to Him for it to come to manifestation, but for you to put in the work for it to come to manifestation. Prayer is good, but if we pray all night but we don't work, we're going to be broke. All right. And so the way God works is that when you pray to Him, that God make me a millionaire or make me a billionaire, which you are, which I am, period. When you pray that God make me a millionaire or make me a billionaire, He's not going to just put money on your table. You're not just going to wake up because you pray that God, I pray that you should make me a millionaire. So now when I wake up in my living room and my bank account, it should be in there. I know there are people who pray all kinds of prayers like, God, fill my bank account, fill my bank account. Today when I wake up, let there be $50 from nowhere. Listen, let's stop joking. Let's stop joking. God does not provide chairs. When you go to God and you ask Him, God, I need a chair for my house, He does not provide chairs. He provides trees. God will give you a tree and give you the power as a human being and give you the mind and the wisdom to cut the tree and use the tree to make what? A chair. So the day you ask God for the chair, it was already provided in the form of a tree. Now, the reason why you're still not seeing certain things come into manifestation, God hasn't answered my prayer, God didn't do this, and He's looking at you like, I've been answered that, is in the form of a tree. Now, you need to do the work by going to cut the tree, seeking me for the wisdom, seeking me for the understanding, and using that tree to make a chair. It's the same way. When you ask Him, God bless me with this, God bless me with this, He's looking at you like, I already blessed you. God already blessed you. All He needs you to do is to put in the work. You cannot pray and be lazy. You cannot pray and say, God, I want to get closer to you, and not make any changes in your life, in your schedule to read your word or to pray. We're not growing that way. Let me come closer. You can't grow that way. You cannot grow by saying, Father, I pray that you draw me closer to you. I pray that I have the best of relationship with you. I pray that I have the consistent relationship with you, and you're not doing nothing physically. You're not working to change nothing. Let me go back now, all right? I feel like I'm a little too close and I'm yelling at you. I'm not yelling. But I used to be there. That's why it's so frustrating to me that I see so many believers cancel out their destiny and their potential simply because they're being lazy. God is such a worker that when He got ready to introduce His image to us, the first thing He did was He worked. Day 1, He worked. Day 2, He worked. Day 3, He worked. Day 4, He worked. God worked every single day. Then He took a break. I want to say this to you. If you do not know how to work, you don't deserve to take a break. And also, if you don't know how to take a break, you don't deserve to work. Yeah. I'm going to let it sink in. So for those of you who all you do is rest, every day I'm resting. God said I should rest. Rest is good for the believer, which it is. On the 7th day, God rested. He rested after working. So if all you're doing is sleeping, resting, but not working, you don't deserve to rest. And then there needs to be a balance, because the Bible teaches us that a false balance is an abomination unto the Lord. So just to be a workaholic but not rest is not part of God's image. That's why He showed us how to do this. He worked and rested. So for somebody listening to me right now, please learn how to rest. Learn how to rest. I know you want to get things done, but learn how to rest. And I know you want to rest, but learn how to work. Two different people here. And so there are many doors that God has promised to open for the believer. There are some doors that open by prayer. There are some doors that open by prayer and fasting. There are some doors that open by prayer and work. You have to work. And there are some doors that work not just by prayer, but by relationships. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but the idea that you can become who God has called you to become simply just by praying is a joke. You need people in your life. There are some doors that no matter how many prayer you do, no matter how long you pray, it will never come into manifestation, and those doors will never open until you learn to cherish some of the greatest relationship God has placed in your life. You cannot do life by yourself. There's a reason why God has placed people in your life. There's a reason why He has aligned your life with people, destiny helpers, people who have gone ahead of you so that you can learn from them. The problem with our generation is this, is that we refuse to learn from the people who have gone ahead of us because we think we know it all, or we think that we're the first to do something. Listen, the specifics on what you may be doing may be new and we have never seen it before, but the principles you would need to be successful are not new. And the people who have gone ahead of you may have not done the same thing you're doing now, but the principles are the same. And so learn to learn from people who have gone ahead. And two, learn to learn from people who have failed. I know we only learn and we only think breakthroughs happen by learning from people who have gone ahead. Sometimes your greatest breakthrough in life can come from the people who have failed. My pastor has a way of saying it that if you watch me and I tell you what I have done wrong and the mistakes I've done, and you make the same mistake, you're a fool. You cannot watch the same mistakes of the people who have gone ahead and still repeat the same mistakes. No. So in watching people's mistakes, you become successful because it teaches you on what not to do or what not to become. That is not prayer. Prayer does not bring that. Relationships does. Sometimes you'll come into a place in life where how your breakthrough will come is not because you prayed for 5 hours, but simply because you met somebody who changed your life forever. Ask anybody who is successful. They only became successful one time in their life because they met somebody that changed their life. Prayer does not solve everything. What solves everything? Money. I know Christians like, no, money is the root of all evil. There are some things you're struggling with that your prayer will not solve it. I know, we have been taught, if you need this, pray. If you need this, pray. If you need this, pray. You know, the Christians that when somebody loses a family member or when somebody dies in a family and they come to them and like, man, we're praying for you. We're praying for you. Prayer does not pay the bills. Prayer does not take care of the expenses of the funeral. It's good for us to pray for people, mourn with people, and pray for them, but we mourn with them also by giving them money. Because if you pray for me, but I don't got money to cover this funeral, all we got is a prayer and some debt. And a lot of us are walking around with prayer and debt. You praying, but you still in debt. And the reason being is because our mindset is only prayer is the only key. No, it's not. We can pray. I'm not telling you not to pray. I'm one that is saying that we need prayer, but in the prayer, we need people. In the prayer, we need to work. In the prayer, we need money. And guess what? Prayer does not solve everything because prayer sometimes needs to be matched or connected with time. I know you're the greatest intercessor. I know this video probably coming for everybody. I know you're the greatest intercessor. You can call heaven down. You can stand in a place of prayer and ask for whatever you need and God will answer. I know you can go on your knees and begin to intercede and certain things will come into manifestation. But guess what? There's some things that will never come into manifestation just because you pray. Some things unfold and come into manifestation by time. So sometimes no matter how much you pray, you need to learn to wait on God. You need to learn to trust God. And I pray this help you because sometimes it's not the fact that you have the greatest relationship with God. Abraham had such a great, there's some bugs here. Abraham has that's my clue to leave. Abraham has such a great relationship with God. Abraham talked to God face to face. Abraham will meet with God. God will come and have a chat with Abraham. Guess what? Throughout all of that, no matter how much he could pray, no matter how much encounter he had with God, his promise of receiving a baby didn't come into manifestation because he prayed. It came into manifestation because he waited. Time, sometimes, is the greatest destiny helper you can ever receive. So I pray that this video helped you. I can keep going on and on, but again, prayer does not solve everything. I hope this video blessed you. Let me know what you took away from this. I hope I didn't come for you. I hope you still love me. If you don't, I still love you anyway, and there's nothing you can do about it. Remember to give this video a huge thumbs up, subscribe, share this with your friends and family. My vision for this year, like I told you guys, is for us to grow up. I believe that there's a need for believers to come to themselves and say, you know what? I've been childish in the faith for way too long, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but Lord, I need your help to grow up. If you can humble yourself like that, God will help you to grow. I want to grow every single day. If you only have people around you who tell you that you're doing everything good, you're in danger. So that's just a little nugget, but remember that we're bridging the gap. This is our season of order. And lastly, don't forget to be blessed, be yourself, and be happy. Peace.